Welcome back to the Abandoned Project. Today we are in the Mojave Desert of California checking out a gold mill and processing center. Let me step back inside, it's a little windy out there. This is a more modern gold mill. A lot of the ones that I've explored before have been like really old. To my knowledge, this one was created in the 1980s. Quite a few different buildings to explore here. A lot of really interesting industrial artifacts left behind. So let's just get right into it and start exploring buildings. This first one we came to doesn't have much in it. There have been some artists that have come out here and done some kind of three-dimensional graffiti artwork. On a windy day like today, it just makes these really crazy noises inside all of these buildings. This would have just been like a garage or something. There's another sculpture over there, just making all that noise, but this building here is definitely the most industrial. Even though this is a newer site, some of the walkways are still a little sketchy, so definitely gotta be careful when you're walking around. Looks like there was a fire right over here. I don't know what that would have been, but it's gone now. How sweet is that, huh? Before we go back over there and check out some of the processing stuff, there's a couple of big vats out here, which are pretty crazy. So with more modern mining operations, they would actually use cyanide to refine the gold out of the big rocks or the ore that they would have. So this place used cyanide, and it is actually a Superfund site, meaning there's some hazardous chemicals that still exist here. A lot of times with Superfund sites, they just don't know what to really do with the stuff, so it just kind of sits here. So I wouldn't recommend, eating or drinking anything near here, but from everything I see, it doesn't seem like it's super dangerous here. But just be aware, if you're coming here, there's some nasty stuff around that you don't really want to get involved in. And from what I imagine, a lot of these big metal barrels, these big drums that they had, maybe would have held some sort of that cyanide mixture that they use to refine the gold out of all the different ore that they processed here. So a little more history about this place. From what I can collect, this place was built in the 1980s. In 1994, they passed a new mining law in this region. We're actually in the Mojave National Preserve right now, that made it much more strict with the type of mining they could do. So this mine was no longer able to operate here. They kind of did a little bit more production until like 1998 and then closed completely. So this is, like I said, an example of a more modern gold mine. Something that I haven't really seen before. Some of the refining techniques are really, really cool to see, especially since it's been left for about 25 years now. So yeah, like I said, from what I can gather, this would be the tumbler where they would sort through the rock. When you're mining gold, gold is heavier than all the other rocks, so that will stay on top while the other pieces fall below, kind of like your gold panning. So this shaker would have taken a bunch of different rocks and materials and like washed it and knocked out all the other pieces of rock until just the gold was left. Now if we come up over here, this is where they would have brought in the rock and ore before it was washed out. So from my knowledge, it would have been fed in through here somehow. There's like a conveyor belt that would have gone right through here, and it would have came back into that and probably dumped right down through this section and fed straight into there. So this walkway here is where you could read in decline. This is the back side of it right here. That's the first building we went and explored right over there. And yeah, this would have had belts on it that would have taken all the rocks to the sorter there. This side says aware. This is another graffiti artist that has done some pretty big pieces. They've done the Wheel of Misfortune. That Wheel of Misfortune's out in the outskirts of Las Vegas, which is only like probably an hour and a half from here. And they did some work here as well. So I made a video all about the Wheel of Misfortune if you want to check that one out. But this section here is a long tunnel where that stuff would have came all the way in. And I'm not gonna go all the way back there, but you can get right out this way and head up top to see some of the other stuff up top. Some of the other things, so. I think this section right up here has to be one of my favorite of this whole site. It's just a really crazy looking old like conveyor system that they would have had. All the ore and rocks would have came here and then been fed through this down in. Actually walk up the side of this a little bit. I'm not going to go super high because I don't know how good these boards are. I'll go a little bit. So yeah, there would have been the belts. Right there. I can feel those boards just bending under my foot, so I don't trust those at all. I'm not going to go up any further. Wow, super cool. That last stairway felt a little sketchy. So yeah, that's the conveyor there. Would have fed right into here. Would have dropped down there to like a dump truck or something. That's the stuff that would have just came in. Would have been gold in there. calcium carbide. I don't know if those have calcium carbide in them still, but that stuff's pretty nasty. So maybe a couple more things in the ground around here. As we walk back down to this other section here, I mentioned a couple times about the graffiti artists that came in, and a lot of their work is kind of a political protest. And if you watch any other YouTube videos on this spot, they'll tell you a lot about that as well. In Decline and Aware, when they made this, talked a lot about they were extracting gold out of here, but they like really destroyed the environment when they were doing it. You know, a lot of the chemicals that have been left behind are really nasty, terrible stuff, really wreaked havoc on the ecosystem. So a lot of their, you know, artwork that they've made is all kind of a statement towards that. You know, it's like the miners that are skeletons. Here's another section too. This is like a bighorn sheep, which kind of lives in this area, that is a skeleton. So that's probably a commentary on that as well. This? It's just in the bathroom. Yeah. Toilets and a little changing room maybe. Desk over here. We had a lot of people working here at one point. Like I said, this place has been abandoned for about 20 years now, 25 years. So a lot of graffiti artists has come in, not just in Decline and Aware, a lot of other people have come and done some work. And when I was walking around earlier, I saw some pretty cool like Mars attacks graffiti on this side that I wanted to show you guys. There's also this big vat over here, which is kind of set off to the side away from the other ones. I'm not sure would have been held there. If you know any more about that, you know, of what kind of chemicals they used here or maybe what's left over, like drop them in the comments, because I am pretty interested to know how bad this mine really screwed up this environment. Like I was saying, there's some pretty good Mars attacks graffiti here, which I think is just awesome. Like that's fantastic. Whoever did that, that's really awesome. Got another one right here. And this is probably the coolest of all of Aware and In Decline's work. So they have the miner with the gas mask here, holding a big like mining drill. And if you look at it from this side, it all lines up. If you come over here, separates, but it's a neat perspective they did. And if you can see, they made it 3D, so you can see inside of this whole thing. Let's see where they would have had the nasty shit that they used to mine. There is a water tower up the hill, but I know from videos I've seen online, there isn't really much to see there. So I think that's gonna be it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. I will link my California Abandoned playlist. Give this one a thumbs up, drop a comment, let me know what you think. That really helps to support the channel. If you're not subscribed already, I really would appreciate you hitting that button too. Thanks for watching. I really enjoy making these videos, and all the support on this channel just makes it so I can keep making these. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, peace.